creepy clown kidnappings, aliens, Bob, and are you ready for your close-up? All of this and more on Missing Number. It's a bird, it's a plane, it's a me, Super Mario, oh my god. This is what happened to Reddit user Lime Turtle when they tried to boot Super Mario Galaxy 2 on an emulator. According to a commenter, the issue is caused by a low amount of RAM, and so new images are superimposed over the old images. Years ago, there was a secret command that you could enter in Roblox. It was later removed for some mysterious reason, but if you had Adonis installed, which was an administrative system that allowed you to do commands, you could enter the command :kidnap followed by a player's name. You could enter any player's name, even your own. And should you do this, the following would transpire.
Someone's always watching me. Someone's always there. When I'm asleep and
Clowns in a white van would kidnap you as creepy chuckling and singing can be heard.
Someone's always watching me.
The woman was singing, "Someone's always watching me, someone's always there. When I'm sleeping, he just waits and he stares." You're then taken to a dark staircase that's endless and goes on forever. There's no way out, and it's impossible to reach the bottom. Multiple recreations of this staircase were made by players, so I'm not sure if this gameplay footage, by Axum, is showing the original stairwell. But in this footage, the farther down you go, the creepier things get. Bloodstains and glowing red eyes can be seen, and whispers and footsteps can be heard as well. The original staircase may be based on SCP-087. What's more, there's even alternate versions of the kidnap command that makes things even more terrifying. In one version, the clowns put a bag over your head and trap you inside a room. Someone then points a gun at you and kills you.
What the hell?
There's another version where the clown dismembers you, while a different kidnap command adds a dead body in the van and makes the clown look scarier. Users have even turned the van into an ice cream truck, or had the words "free candy" humorously written on the side of the van. And then there's a script that spawns a mini Justin Bieber that terrorizes you by singing. And if you were wondering who sings this song,
Someone's always watching me.
it's apparently the famous Twitch streamer, Lily Pichu. The song is called Slendy's Lullaby, and it's about Slender Man. As for the clown command, it was apparently an Easter egg created by Adonis creator Celeratus/Davy Bones, who says that they just wanted a weird clown-themed spooky thing going on. This also includes another terrifying clown Easter egg that can be found in Roblox. I'll cover that in another video. In April 2019, an old box containing floppy disks and CDRs was discovered after going to a garage sale. Inside these disks were rare, unused art assets of Sonic 2. The images were uploaded to an unofficial Sega blog called Megabytes, and the art assets were created by Tom Payne, who was a Sonic 2 artist and designer. In an unassuming section titled Bob Files, this caught my attention. What the f*** is this? Why is there a creepy picture of a grinning man in a green suit? And why does his face look glitchy? On top of that, a copy of his face is fused above a door in the background. He looks like a demon trying to consume souls. And for some inexplicable reason, he has a bullet wound on his chest with blood dripping down. Since these images were found in the Bob Files category, I'm going to call this man Bob. He looks out of place for a Sonic game, but Bob may actually be from a cancelled Sega title called Spinny and Spike vs. the Nightmare King. Payne helped work on the game, which was a shooter in which two characters fought through various nightmares. The game's art happens to feature grinning characters, just like Bob, and if Bob is from the shooter game, then that may explain his bullet wound. While trying to find out more information, I ended up finding other unrelated images, like this hidden gem. A drawing of an unhinged Sonic with a scruffy face pointing a gun at his head. The text above Sonic says, "Sonic the Sledgehog." And there appears to be other drawings, like bullets and a cigarette. This is apparently a real Sonic 2 document, which was found on an unofficial Sonic data website called Sonic Retro. It's unclear who drew this sketch, but here's another document, this time depicting Sonic with human legs. Look familiar? I'm not sure if this document, which was posted on Reset Era, is real, but the text on it says something about Sonic, and underneath it reads, "Don't just sit there and waste your precious time. When you want to do something, do it right away. Do it when you can. It's the only way to live a life without regrets." This quote can be seen on the Japanese box art for Sonic 2, which implies that this document was for the game. And last but not least is this stupid screen. Literally, it's a stupid screen, and it was reportedly found in the collection of Spinny and Spike's artwork. It's unknown what this was used for, but it kind of resembles the Sega CD bio screen. There's a UFO that can be seen hovering above Mount Chiliad. It only appears at 3 AM on a cloudy day after getting 100% completion. This is a well-known Easter egg, but have you ever wondered what exactly is inside the UFO? In this video by Cosmo Epic, using a no-clip cheat will reveal that there are actually character models inside the spaceship. Interestingly, they're human models, and even though they're not fully textured, they still look creepy since you can't see their faces. It's completely pitch black, and adding to the eeriness is the weird spaceship sound effect. Nintendo has a history of making novel devices, and one such device was the 1998 Game Boy camera. It was an accessory that allowed you to take grayscale pictures and print them on a Game Boy printer. It also had a variety of minigames and Easter eggs as well. In one of the game's menus, there was a mysterious option called Run that you could select. Clicking it would bring up a picture of Africa that had the caption, "You are now crossing the equator, Jumbo Nintendo." It seems like an odd, yet lighthearted thing, but that wasn't the only thing that would pop up. If you clicked the Run option enough times, you would eventually run into this. Creepy, random photos of people with doodles drawn on their faces. And the captions read, "Who are you running from?" and "Don't be so silly." What makes these error screens even more unsettling is the jarring 8-bit droning music that accompanies one of the photos. In the Japanese version of the Game Boy camera, 2 additional faces were also added, which are even creepier. So what's the story with these pictures? Some people believed that these were cultists. The leader was the one with the star on his forehead, while his disciples all had the wavy lines. But this individual is the only one without a mark on his forehead, and he's the only one that looks unhappy, which led people to believe that the cultists kidnapped him. However, this is most likely a parody of JRPGs. Game Freak and Creatures, who collectively made classic JRPGs like Pokemon and Earthbound, co-developed the Game Boy camera. So this menu resembles combat menus seen in JRPGs, which would explain why there are options called Shoot, Items, Magic, and Run. The latter is usually an option in JRPGs where you can run away and not fight the enemy. But because there are no enemies to run away from in Game Boy camera, the captions just say, "Who are you running from?" and "Don't be so silly." So it's silly to run away from nothing. Additionally, this picture now makes sense. You ran so far away that you crossed the equator into Africa. As for the faces themselves, They're presumably the faces of the game's developers. They're making silly faces since, again, it's silly to try to run away from nothing. Basically, they were trolling before trolling was a thing, and they most likely didn't intend for this to be creepy, but that clearly backfired. Spooky's Jumpscare Mansion and its DLC, Karamari Hospital, are filled with nightmarish creatures and odd Easter eggs. Take this red chair for example. If you sit in it for around 3 minutes and 30 seconds, you will have an out-of-body experience, literally. A shadowy figure, presumably you, can then be seen sitting in the chair. You're unable to sit back down, but you can kill the shadow person if you acquired a special sword. Then, if you sit back down in the chair, this will happen. You presumably killed yourself. There's also another Easter egg that involves being idle.
Okay, and I think that's... Good, okay. So I pretty much got everything. I don't know why I wrote room 751. But I don't think I need to... Oh, whoa! Are you serious? What? Wait a minute. I didn't know that would happen.
This is Specimen 9, which is a red and black skull with a neck. According to the game's fandom page, it is the only specimen that can appear in any room, even in safe rooms like elevators, and it can reportedly go through walls, killing you in 2 hits. Additionally, it's the only specimen that was so uncontainable that it had to be dismantled. Specimen 9 was purportedly inspired by Red, who was the main antagonist in an NES Godzilla creepypasta. Another enemy is Howard, and it only appears randomly in a specific room that seems to loop endlessly. It seems like you're stuck, but if you keep walking forward, you'll eventually meet Howard. He's a tall humanoid figure that has a bronze statue-like appearance, and he's reportedly a reference to the Silent Hills PT demo. Another obscure creature is Wham. In room 557, there's a record player you can turn on that will eventually stop on its own. When this happens, turn around and you'll see this, but blink and you'll miss it. This here is Wham, a dark humanoid figure that resembles SCP-5131. Wham will quickly appear and disappear every time you turn around after looking at the record player. According to the fandom page, Wham is named after the famous musical composer Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart. And lastly, in this endless hallway, there's no light at the end of the tunnel. Instead, there's only Becca. This creepy woman wears a long black dress and has pallid white skin with a Glasgow smile. However, she has no eyes, and blood can be seen on her hands. Becca can only be encountered in New Game Plus, and she can't be killed with a sword. She's the only character that can kill you in 1 hit, and is the only monster in Karamari Hospital that doesn't have a 3D model. She's definitely creepy, but the inspiration for her is rather amusing. Becca is based on Rebecca Black, who sang the infamous Friday song. That's why the death screen says, "Don't get up before Saturday." You can even supposedly hear Becca faintly singing Friday in her chase theme.